Gemini, welcome to your December 2016 Love and General Tarot card reading. I've been extending a very sincere apology to every sign this month for the delay in my readings, just because I was in Bali, and it's actually taken me quite a long time to normalize back here in the States. I was in Bali for 30 days, and anyway, it's been kind of an interesting ride back home this week. So here we are, and I am doing your readings now. So here we go. I'm going to start with a love reading. And when I get to the general, I'm going to do something a little bit different, but I'll explain it when I get there. So here we go. Okay. Gemini. Love. Gemini. Nine of Cups. The Emperor. Seven of Wands. 10 of Swords. 2 of Pentacles. The Tower. Wheel of Fortune. 4 of Swords. And the Queen of Wands. Swords, I'm sorry. Queen of Swords. Interesting to have the only 3 majors coming out in triangular position. Seeing it surrounding this 9 of Cups that we're seeing in the center. I'm a little afraid, okay? It's gonna sound weird, and I don't know where it's coming from, but I feel like you might be a little too right about something. A little too right about an issue or I'm certainly sensing some upheaval, whether it's an argument or a discussion that you have with your significant other who's coming out as the Emperor, okay, which is a force, okay, certainly a force to be reckoned with, and who does not like to be wrong. Okay, Queen of Swords is, in my opinion, always right? When she comes out, she's so articulate, and again, male or female, doesn't matter, but she's so articulate and she's so clear in understanding, and so good at expressing logic and opinions, and she can kind of whip you into a verbal frenzy, and like there's no way out. Like, she's right and you can't argue with her because she's so right all the time. Now, it could just be in one area, one thing, right? What to do for the holidays, an issue with your kids, or just one thing. But I feel like there's an element of pride that might be getting in your way. You're right, okay, we get it. But I think that there's we're dealing with 2 egos. The Emperor, which is huge, the Queen of Swords, which is well-founded. You both deserve to be, and I'm seeing this egos here, it's really connecting you. And it's kind of tying in with this Tower. And the Tower can be a very dramatic experience. It can be hard, it can be emotionally draining, it can be, but I see that you guys are fighting. Now, if you're totally single, I'm kind of seeing this playing out more in terms of family, all right? Love can carry into friends and family as well. So people that are close to you. So if you're not in a relationship, this person is still certainly someone very prominent in your life, okay? Most likely, doesn't have to be, but most likely a male, most likely someone maybe who's a little bit older than you. Doesn't have to be, just it's a general reading, so I gotta, put a disclaimer on everything. But seriously, I mean, the Seven of Wands is tricky. And it's like you're both kind of being on the defensive. It's kind of interesting that he's here and she's here. And it's kind of, the first. And so it means that all of these energies are really between you. They're separating you. And, if I were to lay them all out in a row of 9, a single row of 9, the beginning and the end. So you've got all these things in between that you got to deal with, before you can connect. And I see your back kind of turning on this person. Like I said, you're right. We get it. We understand it. This person knows it, but you need to understand that this person doesn't like to be wrong. Okay, this is one of the few readings this month where I've had very specific energies like this. A lot of them are about internals and what's going on within you and your emotions and da-da-da-da-da. But I feel that this is very specific. Gemini, for some reason, I feel like I get really specific stuff with you. And it causes this point of exhaustion. It's this point of, like, I can't do it anymore. And this can be really hard. We're coming into the holidays. We're coming into, a time where people are, spend time with the people that they love and that they care about. And I don't want to see this getting in the way of being around these people that you love. I know you care about one another. I know you love one another and that you enjoy each other for the most part. Right now, probably not so much. Right now, there's definitely, arms crossed. You're closing each other out. Or you're shutting each other out. There is a connection though, okay, 2 of Pentacles. There's, 2 very separate entities, okay, but being tied together with this infinity, right? This is that invisible energy that connects us to people. But it can also be a little bit of a facade as well. You're keeping all the balls in the air. You're fulfilling obligations. You're doing everything you said you were gonna do. They're doing everything they said they were gonna do. You're working together. But there's something very draining in between. All right. Now you are by nature an air sign. And a lot of times these swords can represent logic. Right? But a lot of times the focus can be off. Like I see that you are so focused on your point. You're so focused on your argument. All right? That maybe there's a little bit of a bigger picture of what's going on here. And this is, don't get me wrong, this is also an energy that, like, when they're right, and it doesn't matter. And it can make them very angry. This emperor is known for having a temper, right? It can make them very angry when someone challenges them, especially when someone challenges them and they're right. Now, the reason why I'm saying you're most likely right in this scenario, or, you have the stronger argument, or you have, more evidence to back up your argument, that kind of thing. The reason why I'm saying that is because the Queen of Swords, aside from the fact that she's an air energy, has nothing to do with it, I see her as being the most in tune with intuition. That's just my personal interpretation of this energy, that she is using this sword, and I call it like her lightning rod, to, the lightning rod which attracts the lightning. And the lightning, okay, we have the lightning here. The lightning is the inspiration or the voice or the force of the universe, right? And she's the collector of that. She receives it. And she's the only one that I see that really has that innate power to do that. So she can come out for any sign, right? Fire, earth, air, water, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it means to me that you are in a very clear state of mind and you understand things very, very well. But again, like I said, I think you might be too focused on your point, too focused on your purpose. Four of Swords is a restful energy. Mental rest. But it's, I mean, well, I'm going to contradict myself here. It's active, but it's very, not restful, quiet. And it's, about separating yourself and stepping back and third partying it, having the ability or the desire to look at the situation from a third party. And you might have to, as if from a third party, I guess, and listening to your own argument objectively without the influence of emotion, without the influence of that desire to win or to be right. And their argument, where are they really truly coming from? Why are they saying this? And how are they right? Okay, this is a very rigid, cold energy as well. Okay, it's very hard to work with this person. It's hard to work with someone in this state of mind, especially when whatever that's going on, whatever this issue is so dramatic, represented by the Tower, which is a major arcana. Now, it might be something that has been building up, causing tension. Okay, I see it as being, major arcanas, especially the ones like this, the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower, they're definitely inevitabilities, right? Like it's something that you have to deal with, and now it's manifesting. And you can't stop it from coming out. I'm not saying that you guys are going to break up, or, I'm not saying that it's going to be a falling out, I don't see that, but it's definitely a stress point. And this is a weakest link, and it's breaking. And you have to address it now. You have to mend the wound, all right? And it's time, because it needs to be dealt with, and it needs to come out, and it needs to be discussed, and it needs to be resolved, because it's clearly something that you disagree on. It's clearly something that you don't see eye to eye. And we're dealing with incredibly hot tempers. Okay, she's cold, he's very hot, all right? And together, it's kind of like pouring hot water in cold glass. The glass breaks. You know what I mean? So here's the breaking point. So let's see if there's any resolve for this. I'm going to pull out only one card this time, and I'll explain why, because it has to do with the way I'm doing my generals now. Okay, I think this one here. The Seven of Cups in the reversal. It's here's the emotional side, right? This is the only cup. No, we have the cups here. Sorry, but this is the confusion. All right, the options, the choices, the emotional overwhelm. This can often be an emotionally overwhelming experience. But the good news is with the Ten of Swords is that it's done, right? And this is the outcome of it being done, okay? And it's over. It has to be addressed. There's no option. There's no, it needs to be taken care of. And I feel like there's a straightening out of the emotional confusion, right? Because in the right side position, it's more confusing, but this is a weakening of that energy, a weakening of that state of mind. And the sevens in and of itself, even in and of themselves, are challenging, and they do represent a lot of internal conflict, this more external. And I see that, you both are kind of battling each other, and you're working against each other, and you feel like you're just like totally not on the same page with stuff. Well, here it is. I feel like it's lessening. You might not totally get there. You might not totally figure it out, but I think you'll have more future looking, between the two of you. It might be something you're not so much dwelling on, and here's that weakening of that, emotional upheaval that I think some of you may go through. So there's the resolution. I'm happy that it came out reversed. If it was not reversed, it would have been a little bit more challenging than I thought. So, but let's move on to the generals. So what I'm doing here now is I'm placing the generals directly on top with a totally separate deck. And I'm not necessarily tying them together, but it was so hard for me doing them completely separate, because it was always like, oh, well, this card kind of goes well with this one and this energy, you know, so it's just kind of a personal preference of how I want to do it. And sorry, I had a whole bunch just popped out, but I'm not going to pull them. I didn't feel ready yet. But yeah, it's just kind of how I just kind of like how people do the triple cross, which is one of my favorites. It's like one of my favorites when tarot readers do that. So yeah, let's. Okay, so the moon in the reversal is coming out. So now I'm gonna, and the devil, and 10 of cups, 6 of cups, 6 of pentacles, 5 of cups, page of pentacles, again 2 of pentacles, Knight of Cups reverse, and 10 of Pentacles. So, I mean, really, really beautiful. My favorite, 10 of Pentacles and Cups. The reason why those are my favorite, they're my favorite when they come out together, because it means bounty emotionally and the realization of that bounty, right? And again, there's that element of family. We have so much going on socially this month, charitable events, philanthropy, you know, all of you philanthropers out there, philanthropists, I don't know what the word is. All of you guys out there going out and doing things and giving back to the community, and, you know, in so doing, feeding yourself as well. Emotionally and in terms of satisfaction, and I think there's a lot of beauty in that for you. Now, the one thing that I'm gonna say is, I mean, there's this devil here, again, directly associated with this emperor. Now, some of you may see this and you may laugh and be like, oh God, it's so perfect, right? This reading makes so much sense. And others of you, you're like, I really don't know what she's talking about. I'm not having an issue with my husband or my wife, or, you know, I'm not dealing with, you know, and that's fine, you know, but I think that there is still some, you know, we all have dark places, we all have dark spots in our life, things that we wish were different. And for me, when the devil comes out, it's coming out in such contrast to the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles and the Page and the 9. It's coming out in such dramatic difference. This may be something that you're even, you know, coming out of, all right? Some of you, maybe some commitments have been, maybe you've taking yourself away from some obligations. Maybe some of you have even left your job. Maybe some of you have challenged in the recent past, challenged those status quos and those norms and the tradition and the things that are expected of you, all right? And you are kind of leaving that behind, or either that or you are ignoring it and doing a lot of things externally as well, and not necessarily or really dealing with it or choosing to find it more as a blessing, which is great. I mean, that's certainly no problem with that at all. But I can't ignore its connection with the Emperor, okay? So I think there is someone in your life that is causing a dark spot, okay? But there's so much beauty around you. I mean, and even the moon, okay, coming out in the reversal. To me, this is a very, it's dark because it is the moon, but in the reversal, it's the weakening of that darkness. So lightness, the light coming in, light being shed on the unknowns and the mystery of life, right? Those things that we feel unsure of, and even shedding light on yourself, even shedding light and that self-reflection of you, because like I said, you might be fighting for something, you might be right about something, but yet you're so focused on being right and so focused on winning the argument that you're now here you are, I think, reflecting in on yourself and being like, why am I fighting so hard for this? Does it really matter? Does it really make such a difference? Because when I look at the world around me, and there's a lot of awareness of the world around you and the people in your world, the people in your life, here's a card of moving on. Here's a card of letting go and finding appreciation for the things that you have in your life that's good. Okay, and maybe on some level you might try to counteract, be like, I was so right that I was wrong. And I keep saying that you're right, but it might not speak to you in like an argument where you have the best, points or whatever. It might not speak to you in that specific sense. So that's just the way it's coming out of my mouth right now. But, there's, you might counteract that. And that realization that like maybe it really doesn't matter. I was fighting so hard for something that doesn't even matter. And so you kind of go the other way, and you might even find yourself giving more. And again, being that holiday season, you might really tap into that. And then I'm taking this from the Six of Pentacles reverse, right? Because I kind of feel like it's either giving or receiving or generosity or things like that. But normally in the reversal, I see it as you being the one giving, or you being the one, expending resources, your time and your energy and your effort. And I feel like you're doing that, or you may do that to sort of balance. Okay, we have that story of balance. We had the Two of Pentacles here as well. That story of balance and to kind of even things out. Like maybe you realize that you crossed a line. Maybe you realize that you said some things that you regret, or you overreacted somehow or in some way. And so here you are, I think, trying to, like I say, trying to rectify it. Although you might not admit anything, your partner might not admit anything, or the family member or the person that you might be having issues with, but yet you find yourself just getting over it and trying to work past it and trying to make amends, okay? I kind of feel like this Page of Pentacles is like in the aftermath, right? So you might be going through something, and maybe even after the holidays, after all the hoopla is all over. And, it can go both ways. It can be you reaching out. Honestly, I think it's gotta be you. Okay, it could be your someone coming to you, someone making amends to you, but honestly, I feel like you kind of tap into this practical side and this, keeping it or moving away from what it is you've been fighting for, and just start fighting for peace and fighting for goodness and fighting for, finding that love and connection in your life again. And so here you are, I think this is your offering, your quote unquote offering, you making amends. And again, it is still, Pentacles are interesting for me because they have the stars in the center, and the stars are such, dimly lit. But here it is associated with the moon being brighter than the stars, and the moon in reversal, now we're moving into greater light, and we have the light of the rainbow. And I'm seeing like a very dark situation becoming much, much brighter and becoming much, much more optimistic and happy and joyful and celebratory. And being a really, really true learning experience, and again, Pentacles being that reality or the tangibility of lessons learned and of plans being made and, things really manifesting and coming to fruition. Your person, okay, or someone in your life, I feel might really be now, holding back. You might be holding back emotionally, which I think actually might be good. while I don't, advocate emotional suppression, having gone through or dealing with something as dramatic as the Tower, sometimes it's best to be more practical and to be more objective, and to not let the emotions that fueled the fire before fuel the resolution as well, right? I mean, it's got to be more calm. It's got to be more peaceful. So here I'm seeing that with the reversal, a little bit of holding back, and its connection with the Four of Swords. So that third party, kind of removing yourself emotionally, removing yourself mentally, and kind of trying, it's hard because we're always biased, but trying to see things from a neutral third party perspective, and really trying to see where your other person is coming from, really trying to see, the ultimate outcome of everything, and is it really worth fighting for? Really? So you're right, maybe they're right, maybe you're wrong, maybe they're wrong, whatever. Is it really worth it? And I see that question coming to you, and almost like a realization here of like you got so far down the rabbit hole that you didn't even notice you were in the rabbit hole, kind of thing. And this is such a, I don't know, this is a very light, happy resolution, I think. And again, I don't see everything being so short-lived. The Tower, or I do see it being short-lived. The Tower is a flash in the pan. It's very quick. It's in and out. Something you deal with, you get over, you move on, and that's it. You learn from each other, and you're done. And the Sun. So we have the star, well, I mean, not the star, but we have stars, the Moon, and the Sun, which is the most promising card for joy and happiness and resolution. And it blocks out, this is the number 15, this is the number 19. And as the progression happens, eventually that blackness does get, it is conquered by the light. And I see that happening for you. So just have faith in honesty in yourself, and have faith that you can keep all the balls in the air. You can have your cake and eat it too, a little bit, but it is a matter of I think opening yourself up to possibilities. Okay, possible answers, possible explanations, possible, points of change, and all those kinds of things. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that, Gemini. Again, a very, very specific reading. I don't know why yours get so specific, but I hope that it provided at least some insight for you, at least in one area, hopefully. And I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next month. Bye.